Hello YouTube, my name is Nick, and today I have some more metal stuff to bring to you today. I got a big old stack of CDs here. Most genres will be represented at some point at least. It's mostly brutal stuff this time actually. Spending a lot of money on brutal stuff here recently, because why not? So the first one we have here is a pretty special album, honestly. I've been pretty addicted to this recently, and it's been essentially on repeat since I bought it. But this is The Night Spirit's Call by Clavicus Vile, like the Elder Scrolls Dremora Lord. This is a really interesting album because most songs on this album actually have a different lead vocalist. Um, this is mostly tech death with a little tiny bit of black metal in there with some like atmospheric stuff at some point, like the last song and some of the lengthier tracks here. But this is extraordinary tech death. The leads and the riff writing and the tightness and the production of this is strong and meaty, but it's still like awe-inspiring, like shredding and amazing riff riff transitions, I guess. I'm blanking on the word that I want, but I cannot say enough good things about this. I believe this is their debut. I saw something about them a little while ago, and it got me interested because of the name, obviously. I'm a big Elder Scrolls fan. But this album is just slightly over an hour long, and it is most certainly worth your time. This gets the Nick seal of approval. Amazing, modern, classic tech death album. Just phenomenal music. So yeah, check out Clavicus Vile. This next one will be maybe not a surprise to people, but will be polarizing nonetheless. This is the new album from Deafheaven, Ordinary Corrupt Human Love. When I first got this, I listened to it probably like 10 times in a row. I left it in my car and just kept going and going and going. Honeycomb, one of the best songs of the year, if not the best song of the year. Absolutely amazing album by Deafheaven. I know a lot of people are not liking this, and I honestly do agree that the first song is a little tone deaf. But I don't understand how people can't like Honeycomb, Canary Yellow, Glint, Night People. Just, this is the best Deafheaven album so far, in my opinion. Like, I really don't understand the hate. I really don't. There's a lot of albums, especially like Slam and Brutal Death Metal. I can understand why people don't like it, but give me a break. I will defend that album to the death. So yeah, Deafheaven. Not going to talk much about that. This next one I'm extremely happy with. This was one of my most anticipated albums of this year. When I first saw the album artwork and heard the first song that they put out some time ago, I just got turbo hyped for this. But this is Vile Luxury by Imperial Triumphant. This is almost unmusic. This is one of the most challenging and mind-numbing albums I've ever listened to. I've listened to this probably more than 20 times, and I still don't really understand it. There's so many timing changes, so many odd tempos, instrumentals that don't exactly work together, almost kind of jazzy, and old school, kind of like big band kind of stuff to an extent, that kind of jazz. But it took me a long time to really understand this, but for some reason I kept coming back to it because it's just kind of alluring to know how complex something can be, and you still don't understand it. This will take you many times to get into. This is not for everybody. Black and death metal with lots of classical implements, lots of experimentation, extremely oblong songwriting, just insane, almost not musical music. Phenomenal album. Probably going to be in my top 10, if not my top 5. Listen to this a billion times. Amazing artwork there. Just fabulous album by Imperial Triumphant. This next album I've actually had forever, and, well, not really forever, but I've had it for a long time, and I just keep forgetting to show this because it ends up in my car or my girlfriend's car or back and forth. But this is Mandatory Brutal Listening. This is Pure Filth with Inhuman Forms Prevail. This is an amalgamation of everything brutal. If I said the newest Organectomy tastes like a, or sounds like it steak tastes, that's a terrible sentence, don't ever say that, then this album sounds like beef stew. There's so many brutal elements to this album that I don't know how they fit so much into the extremely short runtime. There's slam, there's deathcore, there's grindcore, there's brutal death metal, there's beatdown on this, just blistering paces mixed with some of the most intense slams of all time. I believe this came out last year. I did buy this year though, but just every song on here is extremely significant because it shows a different side of the band almost. Like the first part of the album is more fast-paced, I guess, and the second half is much more slam heavy, even though there are insane slams throughout this entire album, especially songs 3 and 5. Just let you look at that artwork for a minute. But yeah, Mandatory Slam Listening, Pure Filth with Inhuman Forms Prevail. This next one is another one that probably won't be everyone's taste, but I actually really like this kind of stuff. This is Golden Serpent God by Akhenaten. I believe this is from the States, even though it is very Egyptian, Sumerian looking. This is kind of just like meaty death metal, but there are a couple songs on here that are just like extremely like ethnic and folk sounding, like from this side of the world. I kind of wish it was integrated a little better, like not just death metal and those songs, but put those songs together and make a good amalgamation. I really do like this album, but it kind of just makes me want to listen to Lycathia Flame, honestly. Not saying that does anything better than this. I'm just saying that I like the mixture more than the duality of the songwriting. This next one I have been extremely addicted to. This has been in my car for many, many months, actually. Well, maybe not many, many months, but since it first came out, it has not left my car. But this is the Antichrist Imperium with Volume 2, Every Tongue Shall Please Satan. Shall praise Satan. Excuse me. But yeah, this is the new offering from the Antichrist Imperium, which formed basically from the ashes of Akercok when they were still disbanded for a while. This is a much different album than their first album. That was kind of like a smattering of songs, at least from what I understand, that were supposed to be Akercok songs that never made it. This is an entirely different sounding and more cohesive sounding album. This is leads, heads, and miles above the last album. Every single song on here has a lot of different looks on it. Like Draw Down the Moon is super catchy. Liturgy of the Iconoclast, Blood Sacrifice has some really creepy stuff on it. Ceremonial Suicide Rites has some cool like chanting in the middle of like some fuzzy bass stuff. And the last track, Sermon of Small Faith, another one of my favorite songs of this year. Absolutely amazing album. Cannot recommend this enough. Very sexualized iconography. Yeah, check out Antichrist Imperium. Again, everything will be in the description. This next one I was also extremely addicted to. I got this when it first came out, and this is a sleeper album that everyone should know. This is like some new Limit stuff. This is Ignominies by Bukkake. This is their second album, I believe. I'm really looking for their first album if anyone has it. But this is like experimental, brutal death metal, grindcore, slam. More brutal death metal, grindcore with slams in it. Try to get a good look at the artwork there. Pretty neat. But yeah, this is a very lengthy, brutal album. And this is some of the most fun brutal death metal has ever been. They do not take themselves seriously at all, but it's so tight and all the instrumentation is so professional sounding and the production is huge and delicious, and you just got to listen to it and experience what they're trying to tell a tale here. It's one of those albums that will never get old, like ever. If you listen to this and you like brutal stuff, this will be one of your mainstays for a very long time. Every song on here has different looks as well, and there are two instrumental tracks on here, and it has a little. I guess they're counted as songs on here, but they're not credited on here. But there's like a thing to indicate the interlude, more interlude, and then a thing that says the interlude's over. And I thought that was pretty cool. There's like a cool Mario, like video game Mario mix on here called Mario Whirl. Super cool cover or compilation, whatever the heck you want to call it. It's just a bunch of Mario songs turned into turbo brutal music. But yeah, great album. Go give Bukkake your support. They're on Transcending Records. Go buy one of these ASAP. This next one is one I was just kind of buying to finish up some collections I have. And this is one of my favorite bands of all time. But this is a 7H Target with Electric Tools for Electric Humans. This is kind of a compilation of sorts of a couple demos. Yeah, either demos or EPs with a couple live tracks on here. But if you know 7H Target, they're not too dissimilar from Bukkake. Extremely chaotic, almost kind of jazzy, not a whole lot of structure. Super fast, super brutal, just nasty, gnarly music that brutal fans will know if you know 7H Target. So yeah, there's that. This is great. I prefer the first half because the second half is some of their really old material, and it sounds kind of different. So this next one I got on a whim. This is on Everlasting Spew, and this is very different than what you might have seen. But this is Apotheosynthesis by Fractal Generator. If you had to guess what genre is this, I'm sure a lot of people would think this is gent. But this is actually like extraordinarily like badass, fast, progressive, technical, black death metal, some kind of something or other. Super fast, manly, awesome sounding, complicated, yet also like you can kind of break your neck to death metal. Just fabulous stuff. I heard something from this a long time ago and I kind of forgot about it, and I saw this again and I had to buy it. So yeah, I don't know much else about this. It says this came out in 2017, but take my word for it, this is worth your time and more. I listened to this about 1,000,000 times in a row as well. So yeah, there's that. This next one, I think I got at the same time as that Fractal Generator. I'm trying to remember what label I bought that from, because I bought a bunch of CDs at one time. But yeah, this next one is Psychosurgical Intervention with Act 1. More, I think this is Russian brutal death metal. Anything Russian is obviously amazing. I could be wrong if this is Russian, it might be German, I don't remember. But more amazing, fast, technical brutal death metal. One of my favorite genres. One of the big things I'm buying here recently is technical and brutal stuff. It's almost all I listen to anymore, seems like. Less black metal. Maybe that'll change once the winter starts. And this last one I have here is another super manly, big sounding album. This is Omen by Bogwraith. This is like a new style deathcore album that definitely transcends the deathcore genre. Very few breakdowns on this. The deathcore almost exclusively comes from like the vocals and some of the riffing. But if you like Dickie Allen or Travis Ryan, I definitely recommend this album. He has very similar, like those high growls that they're known for, like the throatier ones. He's really good at doing that. The songwriting is so tight, and the production is actually really well done. I waited a very long time to get this once I ordered it for some reason, but I'm definitely glad it showed up. This is one I listen to on my phone a lot because I got this on Bandcamp, and it just honestly never gets old. This is one of those just staple records for me right now. So yeah, go check out Bogwraith. Definitely worth your time and money. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. There's a little Imperial Triumphant sticker I got with that. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you see something here that you might enjoy and go check out. And I'll see you next time. Mwah.